Alrighty, let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about Greek religion, all about that Greek religion, also known as Hellenism. Hellenism. You hear Hellenism, you want to think Greek mythology. All right, Big Daddy, Sky Daddy. We got Zeus. I'm sure you've heard of him. Zeus, he is the father to the gods and men. What would his symbol be? We're going to go right into that. Don't you worry, not one bit. Zeus, little zoom in action here. Zeus is clearly did not skip ab day. Not at all. Little some pictures of Zeus, get you an idea. Alrighty, so there's Zeus. Now, what you want to write down, he is king. He is king of the gods. Okay, you don't have to write Lord of the Sky. It's not necessary. You could write down King of the Gods. Okay, he lives on Mount Olympus, which the next couple we're talking about all do. You want to put his symbol is the lightning bolt. You want to write down that the symbol is his lightning bolt. He has other symbols, but the most synonymous one that he has is that the lightning bolt. Okay, don't worry about the parents. That's if you want to write that down, you can. Kronos and Rhea are his parents. They would be the Titans. Okay. He had a brother, and you'll see that there is a good amount of this. And here we go. And as you can see, we went right back to there. I don't know why I went back, but we're going to go back. We'll go to some major clicking here. Da, 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 da. Too far. All right. Poseidon. All right, so you want to write down that he is god of the sea. He's god of the sea. That's pretty much the main. Yeah, there's god of earthquakes, and he lives on Mount Olympus, like with his brother and some other the gods. His brother is Zeus. The family tree you kind of do have to know, but his symbol's the trident, not the gum, not the gum. We're talking about it's like the fork-looking thing. As if you go back to the previous one, the trident is this there. As you can see, the Coke can there. Wonderful Coke can there. Alrighty. He also has a brother, and his name is Hades, god of the underworld. I'm so dark and I'm so mysterious. My name is Hades. Ooh, well, what is my symbol? Well, my symbol is a couple of things. The main thing here, my symbol is Cerberus. Cerberus is my three-headed dog. Three-headed dog is my best friend. I named him Cerberus after my grandmother. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't actually. He's ruler of the underworld. All right. Again, his parents are Kronos and Rhea. They're Titans. Boom. Well, it gets kind of lonely in the underworld, so he kind of needs some company. So he grabs Persephone. Persephone is queen of the underworld. He's forced to marry Hades. There's a whole mythology behind that and everything, but we're not going to really get into that so much. But if you've ever seen Percy Jackson, Persephone is forced to. And in the podcast, we actually talk a little bit more about this. She doesn't want to be there, but she's forced to, and that's kind of the reason for the seasons. You don't have to write this one, honors. You should write this down. Demeter is the god of nature, and that would be Persephone's mom. And the whole kind of reason for this is that whenever Hades would take Persephone down to the underworld, Demeter would get she gets sad because her daughter is no longer on Earth, the netherworlds, because it's like basically a joint custody. She could be with her mom during the summer months and the spring as it went away, and slowly, spring and then summer and then October and fall and then winter. Well, the season when the seasons die, like when we have fall and when we have winter, that's when Persephone would be down with Hades. And that's kind of how the Greeks decided that, hey, this is how the seasons work. This is how they explain seasons. Cornucopia. Cornucopia basically just means like a smorgasbord. Okay, that's her symbol. If you know cornucopia from movie escapes me now. I don't remember the movie. Ares, god of war. God of war. You can tell he has a bunch of different weapons. I mean, he's the god of war. So if you were like Achilles or you were some type of warrior, you would pray to Ares, for power in your fight, for a victory in your fight. Okay, but Ares just wants to see war. So Ares is god of war. He's an instigator of war. He's the one that he'll pressure both sides into war, or manipulate people, or he wants war, he wants blood. His bronze tip spear would be the main one here. I don't know why it keeps doing this. All right, sorry about that. Technical errors, and I do apologize for that. All right, so we have Hera here. Let's do that like that. All right, Hera's queen of the gods. Hera, she's married to Zeus. All right, lovely picture of Hera. So she's queen of the gods, goddess of marriage as well, goddess of childbirth. She also lives on Mount Olympus. She's married to Zeus. Vengeful toward other women. She is also Zeus's sister. I know, gross. But you have the reason is she's so vengeful towards women and she's the goddess of marriage and childbirth is because Zeus is a known cheater. Zeus goes around and sleeps with everybody, humans and sea nymphs and other gods. It doesn't really matter. Zeus is, and will sleep with them and has many children. And so what she does is she's kind of vengeful, rightfully so, towards women. It's kind of understandable. But essentially the peacock, why her symbol is the peacock and the lotus flower, more the peacock, is because if you know peacocks, they have all those eyes, and those eyes are kind of meant to see all of what's going on with Zeus. Okay, keep an eye on him because he's not always the most faithful person. Apollo, one of my favorites here. Apollo, what is my symbol? Well, Apollo's pretty easy because in the Roman mythology it's the same thing. He is the god of light. Yes, in poetry and music and medicine. He's a master archer, the twin brother to Artemis. He drives the sun chariot just like I do. He has laurel trees are his symbol, the lyre or the lyre, however you want to say it. It's that instrument that you see there. That is his symbol. So really with a lot of these you have to know what they're the god of and their symbol. That's pretty much it. Artemis. Artemis is goddess of the hunt and the moon. Okay, and in this image you'd have to know this because there's there's one where you analyze an image or a statue and you have to know what goddess is this. Well, she's reaching for her quiver. Okay, she's reaching for her quiver, and when she grabs that arrow, she'll shoot a deer or something, anything. You know, she is the goddess of the hunt and the moon. All right. As you can see in this image here, you see a bow, you see a deer. There's a good chance it's probably Artemis. I know a lot of these are R or A names, but what you want to write down that for her, she's the goddess of the hunt and the moon. Her symbols are the bow, the deer, the moon. I mean, you see any of those symbols, it's going to be her. I mean, it's easy too because her twin brother is Apollo. Apollo is the sun, goddess of the sun. She's the goddess of the moon and the hunt. You have multiple things. You're not just one thing. You're multiple things. Athena, another A one. Athena, Athena, Athens, Athens, Athena. She's the goddess of wisdom and war. The goddess of wisdom and war. So I don't have anything highlighted, so we definitely need to put down that she is the goddess of wisdom and war. It's more about strategy. It's not like Aries. Aries is like, I'm going to get you to go to war. You're going to war. I'm going to make sure you're going to war. Athena's more, we're already in war. I'm gonna tell you how to get out of war. Okay. I would say the Aegis. The Aegis is that shield. So if you go, a little bubbly, the shield right there. That shield is an infamous shield in Greek mythology, and that is shield is for defense. So of course her symbol would be defense. Parents are just Zeus, singular. You know, long story short, Zeus had a giant headache, and basically they cracked his head open, and out popped Athena, hence out of Zeus's head. You know, Zeus was just consistently having kids, no matter what. He would just think, and he'd have a kid pretty much at this point, and that's why it came out of Zeus's head. So she's the goddess of wisdom and, you know, strategy. So she's very intelligent, but also a fierce warrior. Aphrodite, the goddess of love. The goddess of love. Okay, there she is, contemplating life, thinking about it. You can just put down she's the goddess of love and beauty. She's married to Hephaestus. It's complicated. You can dive more deeply into that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. The symbol for her would be the dove. Okay, you think of doves being like, you know, beautiful and majestic, and that would make sense. That's most things that are like that are associated with her. Hephaestus. He is this straggly guy with a giant beard, and you see what he's doing. He's a blacksmith. He makes all the weapons for these gods. So you could say he's the god of fire, the god of blacksmiths would make more sense if you put that down. But all things relate to one another there. You know, fire, blacksmiths, volcanoes. Unhappily married to Aphrodite. He's considered like the ugliest god too, and she's considered the most beautiful. It's complicated. I'm not going to get into it, but he forges all the weapons for the Olympians. Okay, so his symbols are the hammer and the anvil. You see the hammer and the anvil? Okay. His parents are actually a legitimate one. It would be Zeus and Hera. Hermes. Hermes is a symbol, is the wing-tipped shoes. He's the god of travel and trade and messages. Hermes. Travel, trade, and messages. Hestia, you can write down if you want to. I just kind of threw her in there. She's the goddess of the hearth and the and architecture. So the hearth is what you see there, that kind of like little fire pit thing there. So if you're going to build a building, you might want to pray to Hestia. Dionysus, the god of celebration, and his symbol is wine. Oh, Dionysus. If you watch the Percy Jackson, I think it's the second one. He's in the second one. So if you win a battle or war or something like that, then you want to celebrate. Dionysus would be the guy to celebrate with. His symbol is wine. So you see wine, it's Dionysus. God of celebration, and a little bit of wine there. You can watch this if. Well, goes through all of them. As I can do a little comment on this. While we enjoy this, continue watching this video. It's something cool. Yeah, the evil is the evil. Watch Zeus. They have lots and lots and lots. Exactly, lots and lots of symbols. That's essentially Cupid. Romans, the Cupid version. Had a headache, cracked the set open, fully formed and armor ready to go. There is Athena. We've had a thought. Continue. I've had enough of that for one day. You don't have to watch that. It's just them on Mount Olympus, not necessarily. So at this point, you could stop. As for my honors classes, you're going to continue because you guys got to know the demigods too. All right, Hercules. I made a movie with The Rock. It's a pretty good movie. Relatively good. You do want to put down that he's the son of Zeus, that he faced the 12 trials to become a god. You want to write down that his symbol is the lion skin cape. Okay, that's pretty much the most important things about her. I mean, you've heard of Hercules before. I have Heracles or Hercules, however you want to say it. Okay. Moving on, Perseus. Perseus. If you've seen Clash of the Titans, that's Perseus. Okay, he's the first Greek hero. You do want to write that down. All right. You want to put that he wields, means that he holds. He holds the helm of darkness and the head of Medusa, as you see from the earlier one. Like, if you look into her eyes, you turn into stone. Maybe that's why I'm wearing the sunglasses. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Yeah, he gets famous for killing Medusa. It's kind of one of the reasons why he becomes a Greek hero. Okay, there he is, cutting Medusa's head off. And if you've seen Percy Jackson, there's a lot of they kind of wield that and use that. Theseus, if you've seen the movie Immortals, he's in that. Well, he's not in that. He stars in that. It's based around him. Part of it that's based around him. But he's famous for slaying the Minotaur. If you remember, the Minotaur from Crete. Okay, he braved the labyrinth, basically that giant maze in Crete, and slayed the Minotaur. Well, they're half god, half man. That's pretty much it there. Alrighty, well, that concludes episode 4. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm still working on a couple of things here. And until next time, alright, good night. Alright, good night.